Okay, we're going to be classifying polynomials, and then the majority of this is actually adding and subtracting polynomials. So in terms of classifications, there's 3 different types. We have got linear, quadratic, and cubic that we're going to be talking about. In general, linear is everything that we've seen. So linear, you should think line, and that's really the y equals mx plus b. So that's the mx plus b part, okay? Quadratic is going to have x squared plus ax plus b. Actually, that should be ax squared plus bx plus c. And then a cubic is going to have, so x to the third. So ax to the third plus bx squared plus cx plus d. But really, the biggest thing that you have to know is that a linear is just x, quadratic's x squared, cubic's x to the third. In terms of what kind of nomial is it, we have monomials, binomials, trinomials, and then after that, they're just polynomials. So monomials is 1 term, bi is 2 terms, tri is 3 terms, and then after that, it's 4 and up terms. You can also just say, like, look at this polynomial, and it could be a binomial or trinomial or monomial. Polynomial just kind of umbrellas everything. Okay, so those are just basics. This is really what we're talking about today. We're talking about adding and subtracting polynomials. So they're going to look like this. Whatever. So that's going to be adding. If we add, we just drop these second part of parentheses. We are going to drop these parentheses because you're just distributing a positive 1, and we know that that just keeps it as the same number. That's the identity property of multiplication. Versus, let's take that exact same problem, but put a minus sign in there. If that happens, we have to distribute a negative 1. And then after we've done all this, we are combining like terms, and then you need to put them in order from least to greatest in terms of their degree. And what I mean by degree is if you go back to classification, notice how, let's go to like the cubic. It's x to the third, x squared, x, and then that's our constant. So you need to put them in degree of how large your variable is. All right, let's get down to some examples. All right, so the first thing I look at is in between the 2 polynomials, I have addition. So all I do is drop the parentheses. I just rewrite everything exactly as I see it. Now I need to combine like terms. So I have a 6xy and a positive 4xy. So that gives me 10xy, right? 6 plus 4. Then I have a positive 2y, and I have nothing to put that with. And then I have a positive 6 minus 1x. That's a positive 5x. Now, in terms of when we're putting these in order, we always go alphabetically. But we want, since this has 2 variables, the front one does, we rewrite that one first, and then x comes before y. So I would say plus 5x plus 2y. Okay? Next one. All right, this time I have a minus sign. So I need to make this a negative 1, and I need to distribute that negative 1. So negative 1 times a negative x squared is a positive x squared. Negative 1 plus y squared, or negative 1 times a positive y squared is negative y squared. Drop the first parenthesis. And now I combine like terms. So I've got 1x squared plus 1x squared gives me 2x squares. And then I have a positive y squared minus 1y squared. So 1 minus 1 is 0. So those just cancel. Done. All right, I've got a negative in the middle, so I make that a negative 1. And now I distribute. So let me start by just dropping the first polynomial, the first trinomial, and then let's distribute this negative 1. So distributing negative 1 is the same thing as just changing all the signs. So this was a negative, now it's positive 2x. This was a negative x squared, now it's a positive x squared. This was a positive 5, now it's a negative 5. And I can go ahead and combine my like terms. My highest degree is my x squared. So 8x squared plus 1x squared is 9x squared. I have negative 4x plus 2x. Negative 4 plus 2 is a negative 2x. And then negative 3 minus 5 is a negative 8. And once again, that's an x squared x constant. So I have it in the correct order. All right, this is the last one. I've got a negative here and a positive here. So I rewrite my first, what is that, a trinomial? 6f squared minus 7f minus 3. I'm going to have to distribute this negative 1. So negative 1 times 5f squared is negative 5f squared. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Negative 1 times 2f is negative 2f. Over here, it's a positive, so I just drop down. I don't have to change anything. So this, I just drop down the parentheses. So this is positive 2f squared minus 3 plus f. All right, my highest degree are my f squares. So I have 6f squared minus 5f squared plus 2f squared. So 6 minus 5 is 1. 1 plus 2 is 3f squares. Negative 7f minus 2f plus 1f. So negative 7 minus 2 plus 1 is a negative 8, I believe. Negative 8f. And then negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2. Negative 2 minus 3 is a negative 5. And that's it. Here are your practice problems. The first 3, you're just classifying them in terms of, are they linear, quadratic, or cubic? And then you're also telling me if they're a monomial, polynomial, binomial, or trinomial. And then the bottom 6 in the table, you are adding and subtracting, and you are simplifying all the way.